are these people?
All right. Well, I want to start one of these. Let's go to New World Anthem, which is the first track. All right. I'm gonna go through the words,
Yeah.
and I can first hit play. Let's go back to 0.
This is the home of the brave. This is the land of the free. One was foreclosed in '08, and one was condemned in '16. And one day, when it's all torn down, and the New World Anthem erupts from the ground in the choir of terrible sounds coming out of the studio audience trapped in the rubble beneath, we'll see that theirs is a river that runs through the streets, that theirs is a river that ought to have brought us all up to our feet and off of our knees. But who would have imagined the sound of it flowing would hit your ears like a peaceful creek and just ease you to peaceful sleep, so that you don't see that the news you read is just parroting a narrative, a New World American imperative, that you believe whatever the police believe, that you speak less English and more in the vein of a CIA press release. If the rest is dissent, then the rest will cease. And I wish I could put you to rest and say, honey, this has all been a dream. But this was a test, and the lesson the better learned less within the breach than the observance. If the rest is dissent, it will no doubt be met by a heavy military service. And so starts the war between ruling class fascists and their wage-starved servants. And that's my time. Here's a tape marked urgent you can take back to the surface. Now go and tell your masters that it's time for them to serve us. It's time for them to finally serve their purpose. And if that makes them nervous, then it's only because they know that they deserve it. For building back the wall and all their recent talk of iron curtains. For funneling us all into the shelters or the missing persons. Because God forbid they open up their coffers or their purses. They'll only spring for coffins if you fill an application out and they decide you're worth it. And actually, you foot the bill. They'll pay you back. They swear they will. I mean, do you recall a time the U.S. government had lied or changed their minds regarding something crucial like a treaty or a reimbursement? You really think this country can't afford a decent plastic surgeon to urge you right along so you can't spot a single flaw in all their newest versions? Our leaders wash their image and their money in the same detergent and bathe in all our data like the blood of virgins. And over the horizon howls a horrifying giant who once performed the rites of merging Sprint and Virgin, and who heralds now the sacrifice of Sprint to feed Verizon. It's always open season in the corporate sense, and we are the severed heads that will adorn the fence around the mandatory fair where we will be concurrently the ones who buy the tickets to the circus and the useless prizes. Our torture wears such fair disguises.
Look at this guy. All right. So that's New World Anthem.
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
No,
he's back,
I'm
Oh,
so
that's
glad
quiet,
I
Jesse.
redid this record. And I don't know if anyone noticed, but when this came out, this was the immediate follow-up to Inauguration Gift. And the last song on there, Lockheed Martin OnlyFans, ends with the chanting of
One was foreclosed in 08.
this
One
this
was
yeah, this
condemned
was
in
the home of the brave. This
16.
is the land of the free. One was foreclosed in '08, one was condemned in 16. So I wanted to open the next album with the final lines from the last one. So that's why that opened up.
Continuation, yep.
Who are these people?
This is Mark IV Geranium. I guess I didn't think that there was more beneath the ice. I didn't think the great experiment was just me being nice. I never thought that I could shut my mouth and get the message out directly through the eyes. I didn't think the virus would still be here after all this time. I thought I'd hit my limit, but I never saw the line. I always think I'm finished, then I'm visited by half a dozen rhymes, visited by half a dozen visions of the future Bezos has in mind. A future you can picture since you've lived it half your life. But now it's blooming brighter, like a jasmine in the night. Or more like a prototype of Amazon vine. You put it in some soil and pretend that it's alive, and let it see the sun so it can read the Wi-Fi, and Amazon promises it doesn't read your dreams or seep a toxin in the air that makes you sensitive to sunlight. So yeah, you may not ever get to see another sunrise, but you got a year's sub to Amazon Prime, because it came with a free code. It's sentient, even in its sleep mode. Scanning faces, mapping clothes, keeping records of your speech and your habits on your phone, shaping all their ads to target you alone. And suddenly you look up from the glow of your device and it's just you alone, frozen in the ice beside the fossil of a megaphone, frozen next to faded signs like "We are all Assange" and "Send Mumia home." If Bezos had his way, we wouldn't need a home. We'd spend every day inside our cubicles, working every finger to the bone or up our cuticles, fed by only fear and our adrenochrome. Till one day you escape, but it's a little too late, 'cause you won't recognize it when you see your home. 'Cause you still look the same, but all your friends are in the senior home. 'Cause Bezos lured you right into the cryo tank by telling you that you're the type of worker he would like to groom for CFO. And you don't know your name, but you know somewhere there's a bank where Jeff had told you that your pay would go. But it's right in the center of his hideous estate, past the Amazon drones and the Amazon tanks, who will call in every Amazon robot dogs in their ranks within range of their radios. And these are not the dogs that you have seen in the videos. These are dogs that no one else has seen and lived to document, and you do well to pray for those and pity those. Every little movement is unnatural and alien, and such a blatant mockery of canine form contorted into such a monstrous radiance, it chains you to a fear that is the oldest and the innermost. Hidden close to visions of the blaze that only took a half a day to sweep Arcadia and burn the forests down, allowing Jeff to break ground on the Prime Coliseum and the Amazon Stadium. Somewhere he can sit and watch us battle to the death to have a shot to fill an open spot and maybe make enough to pay for insulin and radium. Imagine all the rush of the palladium, but painted in the neon sort of gray of pure uranium. It's safe to say if Elon had his way, we'd all be husks with just enough cerebral mush to push the buttons, but not enough to make it past the Tesla brand Mark IV Geraniums. Who will tell that little microchip they slipped into your cranium to trickle out some lithium to level off your gradient. Maybe you'll think twice before you go try something brave again. Maybe you'll think twice, and then the prior thought will fade again. Tesla training pamphlets all acknowledge there's a period where entry-level interns and associates may need a little breaking in. You can shut your eyes, but they're still breaking in. Down beneath the ice, the earth is caving in. Down the road, when Amazon knocks down your home, the house just can't be found. It's just Amazon casinos wrapped around the globe, and every hand they make you fold and tell you Bezos wins. Bezos makes the rivers red where NATO swims. Now watch the UN fume again and draft a resolution to compose a strongly worded letter stating their admonishment, condemning the abuse of human rights, and then they all go back to watching with a paralyzed astonishment. Frozen in the air like they're the painting of a parliament, locked in counter-arguments, quoting from the blackest stack of Amazon-approved redacted documents. Amazon's internal workings writhing like a toxic mass of moccasins. Amazon's job fair day where they lied about your pay and then they locked you in. Watched by all the jasmine and geraniums and hyacinth stalking you and mocking you while eyeing you with higher sense and booting up the drive that loads the protocol for violence. So here's to the day when the pylons go silent and miles of highways close in a blink like the weight on your eyelids. Here's to your secrets once nothing is private. And here's to the prototype Amazon Vine that, according to Alexa, is just minutes from arriving. And that's Mark IV Geranium.
Who are these people?
I know it's hard to pay attention, but I need you eyes up right now. Try to give me just a little more. At the risk of sounding like a pessimist, I think it's safe to say that brighter days might be laying down 6 feet beneath the floor. At the risk of sounding too accelerationist, I think we just might need a civil war. to stand a chance against a ruling class who rig the game and spend a fortune more than we could ever save on an ad campaign to explain how we're looking at an even score. They complete the ritual and disappear through hidden doors. They wrap up a speech about a water crisis, warning you to ration every drop, and you get thirsty at the thought and turn around to find them sitting at your table, calmly sipping yours. They've set up travel offices, locked up all your faucets, started shitting on your kitchen floor. Like, thanks for your support, bitch, vote some more. We can keep this going like an open sore. Watch your squad estate turn into storage wars. Watch them turn your will into an order form. And order up the perfect storm. An unassuming operative of court-approved surveillance and coercion, one which the most studious observer would confirm is nothing more than your nasturtium. But one in which the utterly malignant Mr. Musk has swapped out all the chlorophyll for Tesla chloroform, propagating seeds that breed a lord of war, that wait to germinate until the day that Tesla's set to merge with Amazon. And so begins the long descent of Babylon, when all your churches, homes, and little monuments are trampled on. And while I know the sound will be so sickening, I also know a little part of me is going to wish I had my sampler on, to capture all those screams of disbelief from the insulated, gated, safe communities that never seemed to care how many bodies all their land was on. 'Cause now they're all patrolled by the same soulless soldiers that when they pull you over couldn't give a flying fuck if it's a taser or a gun that their hand is on. And some are only in it for the thrill of knowing every day they're making sure another kid is finding out their dad is gone. Who'd have thought that Biden's racial jungle would be planted here by Amazon?
Ah, I see what you did there. Jungle, Amazon. Nah. We got dad jokes all over the place here.
Who are these people?
It starts with a few things missing at the store. A few things missing that you're likely to ignore. That didn't impact this trip or the one before, but it might impact the next 4. Or every time you try to find provisions between now and the forevermore. Between now and the day when your neighbors form a horde and show up with their forks and torches trying to force your pantry door. And you could give them double what you really can afford, but they'll all be back for more. Because your meager little crop is not enough to stop a war. Not enough to stop a conflict. Not enough to stop our greed and primal needs from just erupting into one communal mosh pit. Because Uncle Sam will starve you just this side of fucking Auschwitz if it pleases Congress. If it pleases all the hawks so they can gas up all their bombers. And then devastate some other poor families far away and overseas because we illegally obtained their DNA and we linked them to Osama. And when they send police to burn your gardens and your trees and they tell you you can't feed yourself, you just might get a visit from Obama. And he can put his arm around you, maybe offer you a drink of ice-cold Flint water. And tell a little story about a hard-working immigrant who's here to live the dream and make a future for his daughter. Who works the high-fructose corn syrup fats at the factories that forge our fodder. And he'll tell you what a slap in his face it would be to refuse the fruits of all his labor just to live a little longer. He'll tell you how the spirit of America is carried by the people who would brave a little danger just to make the whole collective stronger. And he'll make it sound so sweet that you'll completely understand why he's the ruling class's fixer when they need a revolution conquered. So buy some stock and water. Take a good long look at your local farmer's market. Soon the skies will darken. Soon the crops will gray and only ash will be the harvest. They'll take EBT away from those it hits the hardest. Regardless of your talents, you'll be starving artists. Locusts lounge around the empty carts and gather in the thicket. Anywhere the dust is thickest. All the signs have blown away, and anyway, there's nothing left to picket. We unanimously voted to approve every one of Joe's decisions, because we were far too weak to speak a whisper of resistance. And some were too blinded by their bright orange nightmare to look into the distance, or to look into the past and see that Joe's plan to feed us all means eating all your meals in prison. That's the truth of profit over plenty in a capitalist system. If the harvest ends up in your hands or rotting in the trash, only profit makes the difference. Only money will decide if they neglect your children. Because hunger kills, so corporations found a way to see that hunger makes a killing. And the truth is hard to swallow, but it's plenty filling. And that's an abundance of scarcity.
Who are these people?
This is obviously off of and then the Sky Slam Shut, which it's sad to say that we're this far out from the events in East Palestine, and those people are still just left to their own devices. Just deal with your toxic air and toxic water, and best of luck to you. Yeah. What more can I say? I originally I wasn't going to have it be an album all about that for the most part, but it's just I couldn't write about anything else. One piece didn't do it. Two pieces didn't do it. Everything else I wrote that wasn't about that, still, it's hard not to have that imagery pop up again, or no matter what you're talking about, you can work it back over to this mass deregulation, be it railroads, be it child labor laws, just everything being aggressively wound backwards is disheartening, to say the least. So yeah, this is the first piece I wrote about East Palestine. I think just maybe 2 or 3 days after the fact. This is called Supersite, Children of the Fuselage. 100,000 pounds of vinyl chloride burned into the air and in the water with your fluoride. Today we'll demonstrate the role that profit plays in cost-benefit analysis to find the worth of your lives. Mind you, we'll be grading on a curve that traces dead fish on the shoreline. Today the town of East Palestine will know the skies of wartime, wear the shoes of Palestine, and know the smell of war crimes. Their pets and livestock will be corpses for the war shrine. This is how you sanction all your farmland in the Fourth Reich. I'm honestly surprised that Pete addressed it in a fortnight. Praised the first responders, but ignored the looming morgue line. Like, focus on the cavalry, ignore that every horse died. Never mind there's not a single cricket, bird, or horsefly. It's just triclops in the triage tent who expedite the foreride. Norfolk taking pages out the north side. Add a dash of NORAD, plant a row of soil mines, give them lots of black skies and water bright with oil shine, and you can propagate the kind of crop that Gates will normalize. So save your time and give up ever going back to normal life. Norfolk cut its cost, and now this nation pays the morbid price. Norfolk weighed the loss as purely human, so they rolled the dice, knowing Biden had their backs when workers tried to unionize, knowing all their lobbyists are sure they won't be scrutinized, and knowing that the tiny little fine they might be hit with is a part of doing business when your business is to euthanize. To salt the earth, liquidate the brutalized, drench the plains in acid rain, and blame it all on rural minds. Tell them that's just what they get for voting red, and old Team Blue will fall in step and shake their heads and disconnect from humankind. They're never looking up, their fingers point to you and I. Thanks to years of being trained to frame the little guy. They've seen the film enough to tell you where the blame should lie. The poorest family's EBT card was the mastermind. Those little houses won't concern the liberal passerby. They had their dose of NPR. The passive voice will cast aside your raspy breath and swollen eyes, your burning cough that won't subside, your cat that didn't last the night, that pall of death, that blackened sky, that harvest faced in 10 years' time that reaps the waste of wealthy crimes, a 1,000,000-gallon deep decline through supersites and party lines, through hurried graves and leaded pipes, past poisoned slaves and slaughtered tribes, past forgotten treaties that we authored, then we compromised, past our moral fabric, ever brittle, gray, and fossilized, and past the mass of plastic trash that's just this side of ossified. And if you find one root that thrives, the living proof of fruitful vines, just hold it close. Take in the sight. Don't plant some host for parasites who in the name of corporate gains see all that murder justified. We're such a waste of insect paste and so much cheaper crucified. We're children of the fuselage, ghosts of all the food deprived, echoes of the working class whose crystal knock was supersized. Out in Ohio, birds are drowning where they stand. Their eyes reflect a world event that devastates the land. And it's a tale of regulations disemboweled by prophet's hand, and their viscera that soaks like so much chloride in the sand. And that's Supersite.
Oh, I remember the first time I heard you play that, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like, dude, how do you? How? I do. I marvel. I really do, and all of us do. We just,
Thank you, dude. Seriously, thank
we
you.
don't. Damn.
Who are these people?
This is Ground Zero Pizza Hut. I'll take a couple minutes if you think that you can spare a few. I'll try to mask my bitterness like wild berry Theraflu. Sometimes I find things bearable, I really do. Sometimes I'm marigolds and baby blue. Sometimes I make it 20 minutes without thinking to myself how those who chose to starve you will not take the time to stay and bury you. No chariots will carry you to Arlington or Xanadu, or lay you in the vacant space that sits beneath your panic room. This one's for the native graves on which we laid some tanning booths that closed within a year and changed to mom and pop Italian food that got pushed out for Pizza Hut, which got shut down for safety codes, and in the end the building was demolished for the danger posed. Now there's just an empty field where little vegetation grows, where now and then you'll think you hear the wind when there's no wind that blows. Maybe it's the echo of the laughter of the natives when they see how we can't feed ourselves or fashion our own winter clothes. Watching us like human moths all drawn where'er the ember goes, with all the sea a garbage heap and mountains stripped like centerfolds. Down beyond the crater where the river flows, polyfluoroalkyl trout are mating in the witch's grove. Each are casting dirty glances, third eyes courtesy Monsanto, glaring at the only trout with two who dared to interlope. Maybe that was truly thunder humming through the stone below, or native spirits laughing with a cackle like a thunderbolt that rendered in one brilliant flash to shattered glass this sundered gloam, or maybe it's the rumble of a humbling karmic undertow. Maybe we've been swept away by titan waves with plastic foam, so every day we gasp and writhe our hopes alight with phosphorus glow. Gods, what awful prospect to restore this nation's monstrous soul. And yet the concept is a constant threat of promise kept to bait the polls. And then they take the votes as far from all us nosy proles as they can coast on half the world's reserves of coal. Take the rest to go and try to overdose before they hit the polls. Crashed a global market, broke a couple bones. Made a couple buddies, faked a dozen loans. Torched a lot of farms, I bet you never heard. Cops were being cops, they said a couple words. Well, over in the vacant lot on 23rd, someone traced the Pizza Hut from memory in the ash and dirt. And as I stood and stared, I heard the wind, and yet no wind had stirred. Still, I found myself concerned that I might see the sketch disturbed. I sat within a booth, outlined upon the vacant earth, as one might touch the only stone still standing in their place of birth. Sick for dumb nostalgia, which the truly branded yearn. Then I heard their voices rushing past. You'll never learn. You'll never learn. That's Ground Zero Pizza Hut.
Who are these people?
I saw Nina Turner with a roller dipped in ocean blue, spreading life like water in a painted pool. She smoothed the surface out and made a little wave or two. A few convincing ripples and reflections ripe for hazing you and every other vacant fool who saw her build a cage for you, who still returned to ah and ooh and walked right past the toxic plume to witness Nina's masterpiece, her grand charade, her painted pool. The hints of light that trick your eyes, the trap inside the lapis jewel, the half-imagined voice that tries to lavish you with platitudes and lure you in the baited waters, hook and sinker, absolute. I know you've thought about just diving in it, haven't you? Because Nina got you feeling like you're splatterproof. Progressivism ain't a pipeline to the blue side, baby. It's a waiting room. And it leads you to a pool with zero waiting room. And every lemming diving in that painted pool today will not be swayed and can't be saved. I know, I tried to save a few. But I ultimately watched them eat the pavement. Those who get less leisure time than peasants in the Middle Ages. Those for whom a dozen fucking eggs are worth an hour of their wages. Heaven's not a place on earth, and hell is what you make it. And look at us, we made it. America, degraded, diving in a painted fake oasis on the basis of a break in their enslavement, lined up at the diving board, excited and impatient, pointing fingers halfway round the world to cry invasion, turning backs on human rights at home because the location doesn't fit with our narration. You'll never spot the sanctions if you still deny the occupations. The end came and went. I guess you missed the high note. Like we're gonna miss the last white rhino. The harbinger of end times was floating in the sky, but nobody saw the message past the clouds above Ohio, where BlackRock is demonstrating sell high, buy low. A toxic mass eviction in the heartland. Suddenly your city spans a 15-minute biodome. And cops on every corner, every blink of yours reported, every word that's out of order is summarily recorded. When information's valuable, your privacy's as malleable as safety in a school or your right to an abortion. But we know the face of every thief who came to take our portions, auctioned off our pensions, built 100 bloody warships. And I bet you didn't know you were a donor for it. Bet you didn't know we still do no-knock warrants. Who could have guessed that if unnecessary force is left to officer discretion, the result is something morbid and inhuman and abhorrent? All of which is in your feed and whirling in the torrent, all of which is coursing through the current. And all our fate, like Julian's, is hinging on American assurance, which history has proved to be as honest as me telling you it's raining while I'm drenching you with urine. And then telling you the urine's really liquid fucking mustard gas, then ditch it in the pasture land like best of luck and light the match, then telling you to disregard that pestilence that billows past. And all from in the comforts of my safety hatch. Down in the bunker, there's a massive empty pool that Nina Turner patiently is painting ocean blue. Its depth is deathly shallow, but deception swears it true, and she draws the drooling willing 2 by 2.
Who are these people?
So here, let's listen to the title track.
I dreamed last night of lifeless skies, of hands that blocked the sun, of rain at dawn that burned my eyes and made the colors run, where I stumbled down a hillside in a deep-scored Titan rut. I breathed in deep, I smelled the fuel, and then the sky slammed shut. Today I watched a line of clouds hang sickly in the haze as they stood before the towering blaze, imploring us to stay. Then something made me look above, I couldn't tell you what. I saw a writhing, falling dove, and then the sky slammed shut. Today I watched the hand that feeds condemn us to our homes, and I watched them curse the very air and leave us there alone. Today I watched the hand that feeds dig scraps out from my gut, pour chloride on each sprouted seed, and then the sky slammed shut. I felt some massive pressure pull me prone upon the ground, so that in my very marrow I was conscious of the sound, and I heard the groan of twisting tracks, I heard each snapping strut, I felt the roar go up my back, and then the sky slammed shut. And in that morbid instant, how the soil seemed to cry, how the very dirt formed violent words that pried open my eyes, and I saw our faults that ran so deep, that left the cleanest cuts. I felt the quivering earth beneath, and then the sky slammed shut.
Who are these people?
This is called A Stroll Through the Ruins.
Let's take a walk, provided radiation's low and the weather's good. take a stroll through where there used to be a neighborhood. I host a clinic called the Finer Points of Settlerhood. Wish I could say it brings a crowd. Oh, baby doll, doomsday went about as well as you said it would. And God, I tried to love the bomb and I never could. There's such a heavy bomb and the humid air of rotted wood. Wish I could clear the smoke and show you down. The meek will get the earth, though the earth will be long dead. The meek will gladly take what we can get. And when we meet the earth, if there's no earth to be found, well, we'll just join the poison in the ground. Oh, 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 the poison in the ground. The poison in the ground. Oh, the poison in the ground. Oh, the poison in the ground. Oh, oh, God, I love playing those songs.
Who are these people?
That'd have been good too.
Hoped you would never find. I know that you had to know. Pulling what's left of my mind, I'm trying to tell you so. I tried to block the light. I know you could feel its glow. I've been here holding my hands. I'm trying to keep you close. Trying to keep you close. I really want to set you free, but I really want to let you be. Part of me wished I could set myself aside and just let you take the ride, just chalk the rest up to destiny. I could let you believe that the only restraints in life are the size of your dreams. Let you believe each kid grows up with the world at their feet. When I know too well that it's open season, I know they're taking stock and raising stocks and raising stock. I'm simply not here to sit and watch as you learn the lesson all cogs are taught. Keep your head down and keep to task and just keep on blocking the rest of it all out. Just keep on with the rest of the herd of a million adjacent oblivious workers. All the forest unseen for the trees, and the trees unseen for the fallout. Now what's more damning, baby, the truth or the ignorance? Fuck it, I honestly wonder if I see the answer so well. Baby, believe me well, I know it's scary, I scare myself. If I could find a way out of my head, I would run like hell. I would ditch this body politic, mindless occupant somewhere far from the dismal abyss. In the tranquil crystalline bliss of the beach, I could rest with the rest of the shells. And then if anyone asks, I'm anywhere else. If I'm really needed, just light the candle, then read the book, and then ring the bell. Oh, my untarnished heart, my little perfect soul. This world will melt your mercy down so they can sell its gold. This world will take your worth, then demand 1,000-fold. It's full of greedy pigs who'll eat you out of house and home. They'll strip your bank accounts and sweep you somewhere down the road, and then return to eat your tent and shitty bike you rode. Your bottled water, only shoes and coat and broken phone. Then smiling in your face, they'll tell you that the shelter's closed. Hoped you would never find out. Knew that you had to know. Pulling what's left of my mind out, trying to tell you so. I tried to block the light out, knew you could feel its glow. I've been here holding my hands out, trying to keep you close, trying to keep you. My untarnished heart, my little perfect soul. This world will melt your mercy down so they can sell its gold. This world will take your earth, then demand 1,000-fold. I tried to block the light just so I could keep you close.
Who are these people?
Land of the free, and you'll know us by the trail of dead. Just one more world war to complete the set. Live by the pike, die by the pith, die wide-eyed, still pleading the fifth or divine epithets in pathetic attempts at defense. All empathetic for those on your side of the fence. I'll gladly put you and your legacy into an alternate tense, faltering senses and altered events. Hun, it ain't a hearse, it's a reaper stretch. How sweet, she said. Bunch of hordes in the street like it's evil dead, where the thin blue line meets razor's edge, where the corporate ladder ascends to a steel-toed boot that awaits on the ledge. You'll be licking it fresh at your boss's request till it stomps each finger and watches you fall to your death and drown in an ocean of debt. Gone with the fodder, gathered to honor the patient left, who purity tested themselves into sections, step by step, till the next election, when it's just one them and the sound of their well-read theorized breath. Harm reduction for the lowly cost of you holding your nose and just openly buying the theft. Roll credits. Maybe it's all in the flick of the pen. Maybe we're all one unmarked van from a trip to the pen, guarded by pigs who exist on a diet of dying breaths from much worthier men. Honey, heaven's expecting you. Just don't get too hung up on who they let in. Just look at the shine of the pearly gates. You don't need to worry if there's lead in the paint. You don't need to worry if there's lead in the water, lead in the milk, lead in the honey, lead in the caustic embrace of the heavenly Father. Lead is the flavor of passive perpetual slaughter. Lead is the taste of us led to the ledge by the lure of the legend of expert consensus, then beckon to stretch it just one step farther. I hope that the folks who were boastfully gloating and toasting themselves as the heroes of COVID for boosting their boosters and doing their part are now equally thrilled to be martyrs, starstruck, laid in a government grave with anonymous markers. Back from the carvers and off to the splicer. The very first wave to be slain in the 100 years war against Pfizer. They are thinning the crowd that is striking right now to bleed adequate pay from the inhuman misers who sit in their office and designate coffins to people regarded as nothing but profits for Kaiser. Yet the Dems want you nicer. Dems want you softer. Dems want you kinder. The Dems want you graciously starving in silence. You speak when you're spoken to. Rest of the time, you and all of us peasants are merely depressing statistics neglected in Congress's binders. Bled bone dry, then fed to the grinder. Headstones line each step as reminders. A lesson in object permanence learned in the furnace by workers consigned to the fire. Bled bone dry, then fed by the fed to the grinder. That's buying the theft.
Who are these people?
It's forever
What
before we actually
opens-
get to a song. Yeah. let's
What
do this.
opens this song and why I wanted to use this for the opener, there is a podcast by the name of Lyrical, and the guy that does it does exhaustive research into just fantastic political music. People I'd never heard of, and known artists too, but just there's so much out there, so much political music that I wasn't aware of, and he's been gracious enough to feature my music in several episodes.
And there was one where I was kind of the featured artist, and he played through several tracks. And he ended up reading a quote from a line in American Tradition. And when I was listening to it and heard him read the quote, it felt like I was listening to some kind of like career retrospective. Like it was way more of a humbling experience, and I felt like I deserved this soon into things, and really hit me that like this guy understands this type of music really well and sees what I'm trying to do and like totally gets me. And he was actually the person that talked about Utah Phillips enough to make me look into him. And Utah Phillips has been enlightening for me, to say the least, a tremendous inspiration to me in the last few months. So I opened this record up with a sample from the episode where he was featuring my music. He had talked about my stuff for a while, and then he kind of started talking about the movement at large. And then he circled back to me, and it was when I kind of realized that he was talking about my stuff that whole time too, that I started bawling, because it was just the most, I felt like I was fucking getting my flowers. Like someone really gets it. And there have been some times when I'm kind of in need of a reminder about what I've managed to accomplish so far, and a little push to keep going, that I've listened back to that episode. And I'm not ashamed to admit it, that it's just that like that dopamine hit kind of locked away for emergencies. And so I sampled a line of his in that. And I figured the best way I have to thank him for everything he's had to say about my music was to put him front and center for this new record. So the first track, Apple Model 3 Slave Caller, opens with a quote from Lyrical.
Nice. All right, here we go.
Our society and our world are full of these invented and built up and contrived facades. And sometimes some people come along with a hammer and smash that facade. It's a brilliant, powerful hammer. It's a brilliant, powerful hammer to smash that facade. It's a brilliant, powerful hammer to smash that facade.
Welcome to the future. Shit where you please. The Wi-Fi's killer, but there's no more bees, so there's hardly any flowers, there are very few trees, and you'll pay $1,000 for some honey for your tea. But we got these awesome collars, mine's an Apple Model 3. It allows for better movement than the Tesla X Elite. It lets you customize the ads that it implants in every dream, and for premium subscribers doesn't shock you in your sleep. But it doesn't stop there. It can analyze your speech, and if it hears disinformation, then it notifies police. It's a swift re-education, but it knocks you off your feet like your booster every 7th week. I faced the future boldly with 2 eager open eyes, and I picked a couple nuggets up that blew my fucking mind. Like you can taxidermy someone while they're technically alive, and they'll shine when it's election time. See, the Democratic voter base will pay them zero. Never mind if voting for the scarecrow is a vote along their party lines. They can stare into its marble eyes and claim there's something dignified. Unlike real politicians, this one doesn't need an oxygen or kit supply. But its function is the same as those who came before. The goals are never misaligned. It still spends all its working time performing pre-recorded fleecing sessions where it sugarcoats your slow and hungry genocide.
while pouring billions into Nazi coffers, all the while selling you the story that we're moments till the MiGs arrive. So fuck it, ask Zelensky if he'll help replace our leaded pipes. Watch a fleet of Penske's show stacks of bills in every size. Guess it only took a black sun and a couple Heils. Honorary goose step and some Nazi boots a quarter mile, all while Biden sneers his sordid smile. I don't know what was in this morning's vial, but it makes him stare 1,000 yards through all the prompters and the cards like he can smell the nearest child. His eyes are wide and wild, wider than the grave in which another 1,000 families were tossed in as I typed until they rose up to the sky unceremoniously piled. Which sort of flies right in the face of all this network ticker tape where the American economy has superhuman vitals.
And sometimes some people come along with a hammer.
See, I like to think my trial's gonna play like a recital. I'll denounce the world around me and accuse the most entitled, who weaponize their titles, whose pull is something tidal, who'd starve us all to death to best delight their blinded idol. So they might destroy the record, and I will never get to vinyl. So my word is not immortal, but it's final.
It's a brilliant, powerful hammer. It's a brilliant, powerful hammer to smash that facade.
Who are these people?
Okay, here we go.
Go. Depop, I'll mute.
All right, Depop.
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days. Still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make. God, it's so hard to say. And when they told you everything was safe, you safe. You safe. I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days and still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to save. And when they told you everything was safe, you were safe. You were safe. Fresh off the mess, the brand new cancerous growth, who has come here to vie for your vote. Come here to cry at the camps and to mourn at the shore for the bodies that float. Then it's back to their luxury home, couple security booths and a moat. Couple cigars, little less cargo, little booze and a soak. They just breathe in the steam and the smoke. They got pink salt, lavender, candles are low. Shit, when you do what you do, got a light in the load. And he got a life of his own. It's a sight to behold. Cause it's a lot to control, to decipher the code or to siphon the soul. See, the cost of a good night's sleep for the working elite is a bargain, no matter the toll. Worth any wager, and that comes straight from the mouth of the means to the goal that will swallow us whole. That's ripe for the picking if you don't mind mold, and you know I don't. Maybe we're pleasantly prone, maybe we're taking a licking, compliantly ticking and ticking and ticking, but never explode. See, I don't deliver the prettiest image, but damn if it isn't an accurate vision of a natural fission of rage at the system and abject heartbreak, patiently waiting for any who will listen. See that little blue bird who is watching your words as a federal carrier pigeon? That's a Langley first. It's a patient observer who hears what it wants and is trained for the worst. So you got nothing to hide? Well, they'll be the ones to decide that after they root through your purse, after they read all your texts, after they raid your apartment and confiscate all of its contents, conjure up evidence out of a beer on a wing on a prayer and malicious intelligence nonsense. Any presumption of innocence long since gone, right along with your comforts and constants. See, historically, first they will come for the communists. So why in the fuck would I say I'm a communist? Well, it might be I love my community more than the monsters of opulence who are holding us hostage, who are vomiting promises. Might be I'm all done seeing our pensions and benefits harvested. Might be I'm all done watching the populace being disarmed in the guise of an armistice. Watching a woman collapse on the floor who will rise no more. She gets wheeled out the door and you're next in line for the pharmacist. Shit, if you can get me to vote, it's a hard no confidence. But part of the charm of deception is politics wearing the mask of incompetence. See, it's all in the art of austerity, darling. It's all in the art of improvidence. Till home is as wide as your cubicle height and it's only as deep as your coffin is. Maybe I'm miles away from impatience, aching to break off the head of the snake where the capital lust, reptile brain, and the margin of profit is. Like, off with his. Guess this isn't such an awful place. Tell what you want me to say. You prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to save. And when they told you everything was safe, will you save?
That's a good choice, chat.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Well done.
Jesse Jett. Depop culture.
Not without its hiccups. If anyone noticed, I missed a line in the very beginning because
Yeah.
I was
I
still
did.
trying to figure out, like, how do I do these chords backwards?
It messed you up a little
We
bit.
got it.
Yeah, you got a little
A little
flustered.
bit.
I was like, who caught it? Who caught it? That's all good.
Right.
That was good.
Remix.
Who are these people?
Well, heck, we got animators in the house. We might as well do some Militia Intent.
Oh, I know that's coming.
The
All right,
streams,
so
the streams holding.
might as well.
You can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. Why play civil if you won't listen of 50,000 dead? And now we know our mission. We form a militia, make Congress a prison. So why play civil when all these dead won't make you listen? What's more American than slaying your oppressors? What's more American than liberty or death first? Honey, I thought we were founded on abolishing the tyranny of those who would starve a village all to live empirically. And I regret that I have only one life to give for my cause now that I can see the cause so clearly. See, I want our leaders, regardless of party, to fear me. That I will pick my targets and assassinate them lyrically. See, I will bring them out into the town square, hook them to the pillory and leave them there. And Hillary, I'll see you there. Oh, Hillary, I'll see you there. You can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. Oh, why play civil if you won't listen to 100,000 dead? And now we know our mission. We form a militia, make Congress a prison. Oh, why play civil when all these dead won't make you listen? Oh, welcome to the fantasy of rhetoric. Honey, welcome to the last of the free speech while we can get it. And I promise you can get it. All you corporate Democrats and second wave Confederates, GOP illusionists and neo-Nazi bureaucrats. And Stephen fucking Miller, I will see you in the aftermath. When all the laws are dust, there's just moral justice after that. And I will hunt you through the wasteland if it comes to that. So I can rub you in the dirt like a cheap human Brillo pad. See, I can sleep fine when our beds are burning, Stephen, but I'll turn around and run into the blaze to get my pillow back. Cause as long as I can lay my head down, I can deal with that. I can live with a little ash. I could feel like a little of the old me burn with the bad and the rest of my past. The old world where we all lived and we can't get back. The old world where you didn't give and you'd still get back. Where you could rake in 12 billion and give none back. Well, those days are behind us. The virus will kill all of that. Your wealth is behind us and kindness is meant for the past. Our leaders would bind us and starve us and call it a fast. A sacrament meant for their God that they garnish in cash. They feed it the poor by the hundreds, that's all that it asks. Its hunger is legion and people in need are all it will have. Our only chance is to starve it and watch as it turns on them. You can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your hands. You can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your hands. That's Militia Intent.
Who are these people?
This is airplane mode.
She said, I can't leave my phone off or the world stops and it's all my fault. And I can't go in airplane mode cause they know when the flight takes off. And I thought I was born for the storm, but tonight I wish the rain would stop. I wish the rain would stop. She said it feels like another day, but I can't say cause I can't stay long. I'm not here, but I'm not gone. She said it feels like another day, but I can't say cause I can't stay long. I'm not here, but I'm not gone. Oh, not here, but I'm not gone. I know I'm right, so I won't waste time to deny my doubt. And I just wanna know what's on your mind, but the Wi-Fi is out. And I thought I was born for the storm, but I just need a break in the clouds. Just a break in the clouds. Said it feels like another day, but I can't say cause I can't stay long. I'm not here, but I'm not gone. She said it feels like another day, but I can't say cause I can't stay long. I'm not here, but I'm not gone. Not here, but I'm not gone. think I'm the same as what I create. I gave it my name to speak for me. And when it wanted a face, I showed it my face, as good as my face could look for me. I filter every smile, and I edit every day, just cutting a paste. Said it feels like another day, but I can't say, 'cause I can't stay long. I'm not here, but I'm not gone. She said it feels like another day, but I can't say, 'cause I can't stay long. I'm not here, but I'm not gone. Oh, not here, but I'm not gone. Oh, not here, but I'm not gone.
And that is airplane mode.
Who are these people?
Let's do home.
They won't let you go, let you leave, send you home. Wait, please say you know what you need is what you owe. They won't let you go, sets you free, or send you home. I was close enough to smell the fire. Jesus took the wheel and then he kicked me off the ride. I was busy shouting at myself from in the crowd, about to throw down and drag myself outside. I had to give myself the business. If I show myself forgiveness, it goes right between the eyes. I was busy looking past my shoulder, never focused on the prize. You see, I saw myself, turned and ran, stalked myself through burning sands the better part of 40 nights. I found myself staring in the mirror, yelling, go into the light. I was in the rear view, staring at the highway, horrified. Then I was in the road ahead, arms wide, ready to be mummified. I'm gonna be that fella yelling how he's sick of always betting on his life. I'll also be the guy that brought the dice. Half a dozen chambers and I keep an empty 5. Only needed one to break the ice. Only needed one to clear my mind. Only needed one to stop time. Only needed one to stop time. Oh, hey, please say you know what you need is what you owe. And they won't let you go, set you free, send you home.
And that is Home. Watch Your Own.
That is a pretty song. I like that song. I'll be the guy who brought the dice.
Who are these people?
For you. I'm not sorry that my policies don't work for you, and that sucks about your cough, but there's work to do. Gotta reopen the shop, gotta just push through. 2 jars of bleach, pick one, you lose. 2 jars of bleach, which one do you choose? When neither gives a shit about you, or shares your views, or cares if you can't pay for food. Get a firm grip on the straps of your boots. Get a good look at the last of the fruit. Get your good book, cause you can't buy booze. Honey, take heart, cause the dead don't bruise. A bit about me, I don't believe in God, right? That said, I'll be praying on debate night. Joe can't speak right. You could call me petty, but I really wanna see him bring a knife to a dog fight, or each mutt stuffed a blunderbuss up into his canines, and they can pull right up alongside Joe in broad goddamn daylight and maul his broadside, cause Joe's gonna fold up the sails and stick the cannons all at the wrong side. And I'm not saying he and only he solely represent the wrong side. I'm saying both parties work to keep us hogtied, and we have been immobilized and fed upon steadily for such a long time that we're too weak to see that it could ever have been otherwise. Don't focus on our nominees' laundry list of rape accusals, focus on the other guys. Focus on the other side. Focus on the Tiger King. Look, there's a firefly. Now what were you saying, Tara Reid? Yeah, she's an actress, right? She was in a film called A Pattern of Unwanted Hugs and Touches from a Man That You Trusted, right? And in the end, when she finds out her boss was just another piece of shit, she felt betrayed and then disgusted, right? And he goes on to live his life, run for office, keep his wife, and nobody discussed it, right? Yeah, I've seen the film 100 fucking times. I've seen the film 100 times. There's 2 jars of bleach on a table. Pick either one and you lose. 2 jars of bleach on the table. Exercise your right to choose. I don't believe in God, right?
Who are these people?
SWAT team took your neighbor today. Watch them as they walked him away.
You told yourself extremists come in all different shapes. Met his eyes and lowered your gaze. But is it too late for us to ever change? When we are collecting the dust of better days. They're always watching us, but we're never safe. We're not meant to be safe, not meant to escape. We aren't meant to wake. Sheriff stopped your daughter today. Sprayed her twice in the face. He must have had good reason if he'd treat her that way. At least that's what they've taught you to say. But is it too late for us to ever change? Once we're collecting the dust of better days. And they're always watching us, but we're never safe. We're not meant to feel safe, not meant to escape. We aren't meant to wake. Arrived and had you detained. Said you'd made some posts they want changed. Tased you till you felt like you'd forgotten your name, or life before they had you contained. Life before they had you contained. The SWAT team took your neighbor today.